Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Garbage Horror Out of the Can Haunt Review 2016 with our final 2 reviews.
Well, there's only one in this one.
Well, yeah, but we're winding down is the point.
Yes.
And we're in our time, these reviews are being shot together.
Yes.
In their time, it'll probably be on separate days.
Yeah.
Because, we got to spread the love out, man. We can't do it
A
all at
little
once.
bit.
But anyways, we are coming to the end of the Haunt Review season. Maybe we'll do a wrap-up thing after we're done with all the reviews. Something, kind of to tie it all together.
Yeah.
But yes, as we wind down, we are getting the haunts that opened later in season now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 of them. We actually just did a podcast on these. Artisanal haunts, as we are tentatively calling them.
Yeah.
Until a better name comes along or someone corrects us and gives us the actual industry name. That we have attended this year. And the first one is in Poplarville, Mississippi, just across the border from Louisiana. About a little bit over an hour's drive, you'd say?
Yeah.
From us. And it was the Scarehouse Poplarville.
Yes.
And it was What's Your Phobia 2.0 was the theme.
Yes, that was the theme. This is put on by a theater group.
Yes,
It's
the
a
local
small theater group.
Poplarville Theater Group.
Yeah.
And, I was very curious going this one. I went in with 0 expectations for the record.
Oh, yeah.
But I was extremely curious because, as haunters, what happens when you say, I need actors? What do people tell you to do?
Go to your local theater group.
What if you need makeup artists?
Same thing.
What if you need set designers?
Same thing.
Oh, gee. So what happens when a theater group puts on a haunted attraction?
Something pretty cool.
And it's something different, too, in the same breath.
Yeah.
And that's what's making these next 2 reviews a little more complicated.
Right.
It's because these are not, this one is most like, of the 2 we're doing, most like a regular haunted attraction.
Yeah.
But still, it's
felt
very, very
like-
different, too.
Yeah. It, for the most part, felt like a
Haunted
haunted
attraction.
house.
And what was different about it in this case was that it combined free roam with scene-based. Because, you used to be like with the JC haunts and going back to that era, you had a guide, usually a spooky guide in a costume and like a black robe, would take you from room to room.
My very first role.
She's not kidding. And here we have the cannibal room.
No, I didn't talk to them.
Yeah, no, but usually they do.
Yeah.
But, usually you have a guide. Here, you free roam, but when you get into the scene, the actors in that scene take control of it.
Right.
And do not let you leave until they are done with you.
Yes.
And that means even though it was a small haunt, I mean, for us, I don't even want to really hazard a guess on square foot, but you could tell being outside of it, it was a small building.
Yes.
But they
it
still...
was in a shopping center.
It was in a shopping center, basically. A Main Street-style shopping center, small town USA. Not like a giant strip mall.
50-seat theater whenever it's open, something
I
like that.
hesitate to hazard a guess, but it was not very large. But they still eked out a 15-minute walkthrough.
Right.
Because you spend more time in each room with these characters.
Right. It's much more interactive than just going through and having people jump out at you.
Yeah, and looking at props and animatronics and things like that. This is a very interactive experience.
Yeah.
And the acting is strong point 1 with this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like, it was put on my theater group. What'd you expect?
Exactly. This is what they do.
What'd you expect, Jonathan? There. Yeah, I know. It was very, very good acting, even from the children in there, which one of the early scenes involved 2 children.
Right.
And that's, having children have to hold a room against a group of 4 adults can easily go sideways.
Yeah, but they did it the right way. The kids were creepy, not scare rolls.
Right. And... yeah, and they used the room itself with a hidden exit type thing. And the thing about it is this, we as haunters were able to figure out a little bit more about what was going on than I think other people would have. But it was still very well done, and there were still plenty of surprises.
Yeah, Ellie was surprised at a lot of what happened in there.
Yeah. And as you noted, going through it, you had 2 scares you had been wanting to see your whole life.
Yes, and I'm not saying what they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, and this was something we discussed previously, do spoilers actually apply to this haunt?
I don't know, because, yes, they can change it up each time, but these scares are pretty specific.
I'm pretty sure the end sequence was very different for us than it will be for most people who go through it.
Right.
I think we were held a lot longer just because we were the last group in a line.
Yeah, and they were, running slow that night because the local football team, was playing, so they didn't have a lot of customers yet. But I do think that last sequence that you mentioned should not be mentioned here.
Okay, fair enough.
Should not be pointed out.
Maybe we'll do that.
We can do the other one.
Well, maybe we'll do that in the after season haunt wrap up that we do, because I do want to talk about it for other reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the children's room sequence was an interesting. And actually, what I thought was very fascinating was the very first sequence actually is a rules sequence.
Yes.
And that was bizarre and interesting and
it was
kind
very
of tense.
engaging. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's a domestic-y violence feel going on here.
Yeah.
It's very hard to nail down words for, but you get the rules, but you get them in the midst of a scene that's playing out around you.
Right. It's very entertaining.
It's actually very entertaining. Once again, great acting all around. The set design, considering this is a knockdown haunt especially, meaning the after season they're going to tear it down and maybe do it there next year, maybe do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. Very detailed.
Yes. They paid immaculate attention to the little tiny things.
Yeah, and including some that really do help fool you into thinking what they want you to think.
Right.
So yeah, they did a lot of really, really neat stuff with it. I mean, this was a great haunt especially I think this is a great haunt for haunters in particular to go to.
Right.
To see some of this stuff in action, to see something new and see it executed well. Now, my fear and my concern is what happens when they run a line.
Yeah. Yeah, because, well, we don't know. Because we weren't there when there was a line.
We went there, I think, we went there opening night pretty much. I think it was opening night.
It was opening night. We did not realize that at the time. Sorry, guys. But
so, and so that's one of the reasons why we're not like talking about timings and things either.
Right.
Because A, this is such a timing-oriented haunt, and B, it was opening night.
Well, and most of the timings were fine.
Most of the timings were fine. But yeah, I mean, we waited in line about 30 to 40 minutes, and there were only two groups ahead of us.
Yeah.
Now, 30 to 40 minute wait, that's not terrible. I'm not going to complain too much about that. But what happens if there's 8 groups? You know, this can go sideways real quick here.
Yeah.
Also, I do think they need to be a little more clear about the rules. As you're getting the ticket, there was a brief turmoil there trying to go in as they tried to get us all to put our cell phones in our car.
Well, leave them with them. That was their first option.
That's
not happening.
There's no disrespect to anyone.
No.
As Ellie said so articulately, this does not require them to be dishonest. It merely requires them to be inattentive or less than 100% careful. And that can happen to a haunter during haunt season.
Yeah.
I would not trust me with your cell phone when the haunt is open. Especially the way I'm out there doing that. Yeah. Please don't give me any cell phones.
No.
During haunt season. But so yeah, I wouldn't trust me in that situation. Is what we're trying to say. But yeah, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle there because one of our members, Ellie, cannot be without her phone.
Right. Work related.
Work related. She cannot be without it for a microsecond, and she cannot leave it with anyone else. In fact, she's verboten by contract from leaving it with someone else.
Right.
So yeah, this caused some tension on the way in and sort of set the mood a little sour initially. But the haunt itself, I think, really turned things around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You get in there, you realize the atmosphere, you realize what they're doing, and yeah, it was very creative, it was very different, it's very unique, and it makes it very difficult to talk about.
Yeah, without giving anything away.
Yeah.
There is an option of whether or not to get a glow band that gives them permission to touch you, basically.
And we got the glow bands.
We did.
I would not say the contact was excessive or... it was no worse than I've experienced at quote-unquote no-touch haunts in some cases.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like super OTT, they're going to grab you and pin you against the walls type thing. This is just more of a tactile thing they're doing.
Right.
One request I would make if they're watching this, better quality bands. Because or maybe the necklaces would be better.
Oh, because yours, yeah.
Mine almost broke.
Sorry, a band is not something you refer to when you're talking about a bracelet.
Sorry, the bracelet.
It's girl terms, I know.
Oh, Jesus. The bracelet thing nearly broke on mine, and I was worried it might not make it through the haunt.
Right.
And also, I'm not sure how well they were able to see those.
Yeah, well,
talk to your actors about that. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, yeah, because we can't tell.
I know at like Eastern State and so forth, they use the necklaces.
Right.
Which seems to work well for them. But yeah, I mean, it was a very, very different experience. And I don't know how well the scales, I have all these questions about it. But I know our experience was different. It was unique. It was entertaining. And
I
I'm glad
also
we
know
went.
we'll be going back next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've already told our friends about it, and
In
some
fact,
of them are going up.
Yeah, but at least
this
one or
weekend.
two of them are going
Yeah.
up on Saturday.
Yeah.
So treat them right, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will. But yeah, like I said, I have tons of questions, but no real concerns from my experience or my trip through.
No, and as you would expect, every time we threw actors curveballs,
Oh, yeah.
because I like to play back in the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me a scene to answer you to, I will. And they all kept character. None of them broke it. We didn't break their brains.
Yeah,
Yay!
so we routinely break brains at like Rise or so forth. I remember I can't remember which haunt it was at, but someone goes, "Are you ready to be in my cage?" And I'm like, well, it wouldn't honestly be the first time in my
Yeah.
life, because it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I've been in many a cage in haunts before.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I don't know what to say to that."
Yeah.
And walks up and I'm like, just to try that. It wasn't me trying to throw a curveball. Was my first thought.
I know.
But yes, but no, the point is they did not, even when intentional curveballs were thrown, they did not recoil.
Right.
So all in all, I mean, it was a very, very different, very unique experience. I was glad we did it, and I'm really looking forward to checking out again next year. I think right now this is my favorite haunt in Mississippi.
Yeah. And in fact, I think it might be one of the best haunts
In the region.
as far as just fun factor.
Yeah.
I think I've had the most fun here.
Yeah, it's once again, it's very hard to describe it as purely a scary haunt.
Yeah.
It has scary moments, it has scary things,
Right.
but it's really more about that interactivity, the weirdness of it.
Right.
And it's more traditional haunted attraction adjacent to the one we're going to be talking about in the next review,
Right.
which is and playing another sport pretty much.
Yeah. Now I did question their big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that didn't work for me. I'm
No.
not sure if it'd work for your local audience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the after season wrap up when we can no
Yes.
longer do spoilers.
Yes.
When we can get into the spoilers a little more.
all right.
So yeah, but yeah, I agree. The big reveal as a New Orleanian who has seen far, 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 far worse things.
Yeah.
That did not hit with me. I'll be honest.
Right.
But I think that's about it. I would encourage you to check this one out, especially if you are a haunter, because this is something very unique and could be something you might want to try incorporating in your attraction, this style of flow,
Yeah.
at least in pieces.
Yes. In pieces, it would help break up crowds.
Yes, it would. So, anything else?
No, that's it.
No. On that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Garbator Out of the Can, Haunt Review 2016 for the Scarehouse Poplarville What's Your Phobia 2.0. Turns out I'm not afraid of dentists, though.
No, but that was some cool makeup.
That was some cool makeup.